How is it to fly the worst MiG-21 of the game in 2024? Hello guys, once again it's Matt. Thank you all the members and patrons. Make sure to subscribe, and today we're flying out the MiG-21 F-13, kinda trying to do a different type of video, giving you tips on flying some aircraft, as well as taking a look on how it is right now, the performance of a certain aircraft that we seen in the past, right? So today I was flying the MiG-21 F-13. One of my favorite aircraft of the game. I really love this thing because of the challenge of flying it, but this thing is really hard. It's been a while since I flew this, and I gotta be honest, getting 1 or 2 kills, it's almost the max that you can get normally, you know, unless you get a very lucky BR of a down tier, but even then it's kind of hard to actually have those types of BR matches, you know, because of the changes in the Korean War aircraft, the later BR changes that they did a while back, right? So you kind of forced to fly against certain things that makes this aircraft have some trouble. So what are the goos and pros about it? Well, still, even today, it is still, the pros about it is still that it can fly very fast, although not the fastest thing that this BR can offer, but it is still a fast aircraft. You know, you can still do Mach 1 speeds, you can still get people by surprise if you are, you know, careful enough. And, you know, there's a lot of MiG-19s, a lot of Harriers, a lot of, you know, slower aircraft than yours. So you can indeed try to use your speed a little bit. It's not the biggest pro ever, but it's still there. Another one is that it loses a lot of energy very quickly if you want to. This can be a very bad thing or a good thing if you use it carefully. If you actually use it in a dogfight in the wrong way, it means that you are going to turn worse. But if you use it carefully and well, it means that you can make a target overshoot very quickly. So it's kind of a good and bad, but yeah. And of course, the main con about this aircraft is the weapon systems. It's a very old interceptor, right? So the idea here was to actually try to intercept targets by surprise and then get back to the base. That was the initial idea behind it. Of course, it can be used as a fighter, but the idea was to do surprise attacks and stuff like that. Not only that, you know what I mean, right? It was fairly, you know, reliable in doing other things in the like 60s, but the thing is that it's still a 60s aircraft. So yeah, only 60 shots, 30mm and 2 R3Ss. So that's the major thing that you have to worry about, together of not having flares. I think although the guns and stuff, they are difficult to use and stuff, the biggest problem with this aircraft is the BR, you know. It has nowhere to go, basically, right? If it goes to a lower BR, it will get, you know, very easy kills. Although very hard to fly still, it will be too good for anybody to catch you, right? And if he gets a higher BR, it kind of get destroyed, right? So it's kind of in no man's land over here of not really a good aircraft, no matter what you do with it. The missiles are not good enough, the cannon is hard to use sometimes, and the performance is good, but nothing too crazy. So it's a very fun aircraft to fly at the end of the day, but you gotta keep your head straight when you are flying it. You have to think about it straightly. So that's why it's probably one of the best aircraft for you to actually learn how to be a good pilot, to be honest, because it's very difficult. If you learn how to fly this thing to perfection and get a lot of kills with it, it means that any other aircraft that you fly, especially the more modern they are, you will be golden. So it's kind of weird to fly this aircraft in 2024, because when it was actually added, it was an alright response to the F4C, right? Remember, this thing was actually added in the same patch as the F4C, so when it was added, I mean, the MiG-19s didn't have the buff that they did, you know, afterwards. The main aircraft that you would face would be F-100s and basically the F4C, right? That would be the most difficult aircraft that you can face, but at the end of the day, those aircraft were pretty alright. You know, it was difficult to fly, and the Americans had an advantage, don't get me wrong, but on the sense of the F4. But at the end of the day, you could still do well if you knew what you're doing. And yeah, for a while, it was kind of the aircraft that the USSR had. Of course, he had the MiG-19, and later he got a major buff, but at the end of the day, it was basically that. So it was all right to actually fly because you normally faced a lot of subsonics, But today, you face a lot of aircraft that are already faster than yours, or they have better missiles. That's the major problem. Not having flares at these 9.0 to like 10.7 BRs. I mean, above that, everybody has flares, but in the mix here, it kind of is the start of those technologies being used. So it means that you see a lot of these types of aircraft facing some missiles that are pretty advanced, and I'm not even talking about the A9Ls of the time, it faces a lot of just R60s, normal R60s, MIG-21s, A9Js, those missiles are already pretty impossible to avoid sometimes. So that would be the main problem. But I guess every single aircraft that doesn't have flares at these BRs face these problems, right? At least some of them have missiles to counter the missile shooting ability of other aircraft. In this case, you kind of doesn't have anything. So it's a very particular aircraft to fly right now. This game was kind of the worst case scenario. I really thought initially that I was going to get killed. I was trying to show that flying high isn't really an option. But I noticed that a lot of people were flying low, and it was kind of older aircraft, which initially I thought, oh, okay, this might be some of the type of BRs that we face, right? F100s, stuff like that you will see in a minute, right? So F3Hs and stuff that was there was some in the match, or FHUs, stuff that I can actually fight. But yeah, it's going to appear as an A9L launcher coming up to me and actually killing me in this match. So at the end of the day, even in these matches that you think that you are safe, you're kind of gonna get destroyed against these missiles. And once they shot at you, it's pretty much game over. You can try to turn your engine off. In an all-aspect situation, a front shot or something like that, it can actually work sometimes. But normally, rear shot, it's GG. It doesn't matter if it's 2, 3, 4 kilometers. You normally don't have the speed to outmaneuver or outrange an A9L, right? And facing an A9L and a MiG-21 F-13 from 1960, it's kind of a problem, right? So there are BR changes that are needed over here, but at the end of the day, you can still do well, but you need to play it very carefully. So yeah, that was a funny kind of shot there, and as you're going to see, he's gonna fire another missile, and that's it. I'm dead. There's nothing I can do. I turned off the engine, but I'm dead. So if you're going to fly this thing, be careful, okay guys? I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye guys. See ya.